All right, so picking up where the last one left off, a fast food company wants information as to how easy it is to replace workers with touch screens to order. What is the best way to collect data? Well, what is usually the answer to what is the best way? Simple random samples, but that's the best way. But this isn't asking what type of sample. What's the best way to collect data? Think about what's that? Ask them through a survey. Usually, now, sample survey, and I heard a couple people in class say census. The reason we don't say census is because it's probably A, too expensive, B, too much work, too much time, and then C, it's not relatively accurate. By the time one person starts a census to the time that somebody else finishes it, data could have changed, or almost certainly has changed, because taking a census of anything, well, anything large, it's fluid, it's time consuming. The previous question suffers from what kind of bias? A fast food company wants information as to how easy it is to replace those workers with touch screens.
It's not wording bias.
You don't think it's wording bias?
No.
All right, I wrote it to be wording bias.
Yeah, let's say this is how easy to replace. But it doesn't.
Easy to replace jobs probably should.
Yes, these words are down.
I could probably use more extreme words, but I thought replacing workers with touch screens should probably try to that wording probably influences people who have jobs, because it's talking about eliminating jobs. All right, so let me be more.
You have to talk down on the people with the job and say replacing incompetent workers with.
Oh, but it's replacing competent workers as well. So how about, let me rephrase it this way. An evil fast food company with a wretched clown as a terrible mascot wants information as to how fiendishly easy it is to replace hard-working employees with touch screens for people to order. Will that then, guys?
Yes.
Yes. I could lay it on thicker, but I do think that this suffered from some degree of, I heard some people say wording bias. What's the proper way to say that? Response. All right. Were there questions on that one? No? Good. All right. A youth poll survey contacted 5,000 male students in the United States and asked them their favorite carbonated beverage, because I can't say soda or pop. Dr. Pepper had the highest with 18% of the total votes. I just thought that, Coke and Pepsi might split the vote, so you had to go with a third party. Like Coke and Pepsi are going to split. You think that Sprite and 7-Up might split? Sprite is better.
Yeah.
But anyways, nobody is going to be taking away from Dr. Pepper. Anyways, whatever, I made it up. Dr. Pepper has the highest with 18% of the total votes. Let me hear yay or nay from the audience.
Yeah.
I'll wait. If people watch this, they can always fast forward through the parts that I'm waiting for. So anyways, yay or nay on the audience. The population of interest is all male teens?
Yeah.
I think so, yes. 18% is a parameter, not a statistic, yay or nay. So this would not be true. So a parameter comes from a population. a statistic comes from a sample. Essentially the same thing. So if I said, the difference is that now this 18% is not a mean, but if I did report a mean, so if I reported a mean from a sample, I have to say X bar. On average, something happens. But if it's for a whole population, I say mu. So, all right, so yeah, the second one is false. 3, the sampling design has no obvious flaws and should provide a reasonable estimate as to the percent of all male teens who voted for Dr. Pepper, yay or nay? Yeah, now that I put in male teen, then that's fine. The first and third are pretty good. You relax, you chill. All right, 22. A professional bowler gets a strike about 89% of the time. Yay or nay? You guys know what a strike in bowling is? Okay. How can we simulate how often a bowler would get a perfect game, which is 12 strikes in a row? What do you think? Assign.
Yeah, 1 or 0 through 88.
0 to 88 as strikes.
And then 89 to 99 is
Not strikes.
and generate 12.
Generate 12 numbers. Now, are repeats okay or not? These are percent, so repeats are okay. Repeats are okay. I'd also add count how many had 12 numbers 0 to 88. All right, seniors are randomly allocated into 2 groups. One will get a drug to treat senioritis, and another will receive a placebo. Is this an experiment or an observational study? This is an experiment because there's a placebo. They're actively using a control versus an experiment. I'm going to pause because something's falling off the wall. All right, we got the stuff on the wall again. This is an experiment because there's a control in the placebo. This is not an observational study, so we wouldn't say that it's prospective or retrospective. But if you're studying, remember, a retrospective observational study is when you're looking at data from the past. Prospective is when the data has yet to be collected. What's that? So that next one. So if they're in 2 groups, cluster, stratified, it depends how you're grouping. So cluster versus stratified, it depends. So one, there's 2 giveaways. So if you're taking a mini census of that group, that's a giveaway that it's a cluster. Also, stratified, you're taking a simple random of the group. Also consider what the groups look like. If the group looks like a mini version of the population, then it's a cluster. If you're separating them into groups that look like each other, then it's going to be a stratified. If I'm only asking 24, if you only selected trail students, what type of bias? Convenience is not a bias. It would be a convenience sample. What type of bias, though? Under coverage. I know. Yeah, undercoverage. What is undercoverage?